Today we are with one of the cars that I've been absolutely dying to drive for ages. Firstly, because of its absolutely stunning spec, but also when I go to track days, they are always one of the best performance cars on the track. It is the Porsche Turbo S. This particular car is a 2014 991.1. It's a very early car and we think it might have been a press car, but we can't find any footage of it, unfortunately. The Turbo S is powered by a 3.8 litre flat six twin turboed engine, has about 560 horsepower and 750 newton meters of torque. Porsche claims a 0 to 60 time of about 3.1 seconds, but owners have actually reported nearer to 2.6 seconds on their draggy lap timers. Porsche have also claimed top speeds of about 197 miles an hour, but owners have reported nearer to 207 on autobahns in Germany. Engine bay leaves much to be desired. As you can see, you pretty much fill up your water and oil, and that is about it. So you might notice this double wing situation going on. The top one is actually adjustable. You can adjust it from both inside the car, but also it will automatically lift up further on harsh braking, which essentially acts like a parachute, but also adds more aero and downforce to the car. This particular car is on 20-inch PS4s all round, so it's going to handle really nicely on the road. We've also got ceramic brakes from the factory, and we've also got these really lovely centre locks. So cool. Right, boot space. So, in true Porsche fashion, we have a frunk, which isn't a bad size. You can definitely fit 2 small suitcases in that. Right, let's have a look inside. For a new-ish Porsche, it's actually pretty sparse in here. We've got these really lovely leather seats, which have got an 18-way changer. Essentially, if you want to go on track and you want it a little bit more snug, you can do that. Or if you want a bit more comfort on the road, you can do that as well. There are 18 different things you can do with these seats to change how the setup is. In the back, this owner is proving that you can put children in the back of this car. Children, not adults. Although if I'm driving, you can probably have an adult in the back too. Storage wise, we've got a glove box, which is just a normal glove box. We've then got a little bit of storage down the side of the door card, and then you've got an armrest in the middle which has a tiny bit of space in it. You could probably fit a phone in, and that's about it. But other than that, there is not a lot of storage in this car. In terms of centre console, I'm not going to go through all the buttons, but bits to note, buttons to note are traction control off, very, very important button. You've then got the PDCC button, which sort of sorts out the suspension, changes it from comfort to sport, but without changing the mode of the car. You've then got the Sport Plus and Sport buttons, which are the 2 modes in the car. You've also then got comfort, and we'll go into a bit more detail on those in the driving review. You've then also got in the middle these 2 buttons that open the roof, so that you can have the roof open, but it doesn't actually have a roof that comes down. And then to the right of that, you've got the button to put the wing up or down, and then underneath that to turn the start stop off. You've then got the normal buttons that you get on basically every other car, navigation, map, radio, etc. Then above that, we've got this really cool clock that I don't quite understand, but it's got a digital clock on it, digital time, and also an analog time, but then you've got one hand for the seconds going round, which is massive compared to the rest of the clock. So I don't really understand what's going on there, but it's cool. I like it. The thing I love the most about this interior is actually the steering wheel. There is not one button on it, which is completely the opposite to what I expected. It's then got the flappy paddles for the PDK box behind, and then you've got the normal cruise control, indicators, washers, all that sort of stuff. Right, that's enough chatting. I've been dying to drive this car. Let's go. Something I forgot to mention during the interior bit is these really, really cool cup holders. Yeah, but basically the Germans have come up with this really clever design where you just press the button, they flip out, and you can have like one in at a time, one out at a time, whatever. But it is so, so smart. What an ingenious design. Another really cool design feature about this car is that under 50 kilometers per hour, which is about 30 miles per hour in the UK, it makes, when you're turning, steers the front wheels in the opposite direction to the rear wheels, which makes it easier to turn at slower speeds. This car's also quite fuel efficient. And part of that is because it's got another really cool design feature in which when you're driving along on a motorway, dual carriageway, whatever, and you're sitting at 70, 80 mile an hour, it will disengage the gearbox from the engine and set it so that it sits at about 700 revs per minute. So it's super, super, super efficient. Right, so that's enough on that. Let's do the actual review. Things I don't like. So the first thing is that I feel like the traction control could get quite invasive, and actually I know that to be true certainly on track, because I have witnessed it in my friend's 991.2, and this, I went around a corner earlier and I wasn't even going that fast, but the traction control started kicking in, and it's dry, so there wasn't really any reason for it to be kicking in. So I imagine that certainly if you're going to be tracking your car, you probably want to turn the traction control off pretty much immediately. Again, I've been out in one with the traction control off in pretty much torrential rain, and it is still very, very good. And the other thing I don't particularly like is that the noise is relatively crap. But it's a Porsche. You know, you don't buy one to be screaming down the road like you do in a Lamborghini and making loads of noise. It's a Porsche. It's luxury, comfort, but an epic drive. And to be honest, that is exactly what this is. In terms of the modes, so comfort, I am currently in comfort, but I'm also going to turn the stiff suspension off and put it into normal, essentially, normal suspension. Really compliant, really smooth, really soft. When it's in Sport Plus suspension, it's very, very stiff. But actually, if you're along a road that's kind of potholy, not very nice to drive on, you can put it into comfort, and actually it just feels like a normal German car. It's really good in that respect. You then whack it into Sport. It opens up the valves, so you get a little bit more noise, and then you also get a car that is a lot more revvy. The other difference between Sport and Sport Plus is that in Sport Plus it will automatically put that wing up. In Sport it will put it down unless you press the button that keeps it up constantly. Also, in Sport you get quite a bit of turbo lag, look. Okay, gives you a minute to compose yourself before it tries to rip your face off. Whereas in Sport Plus, just holy crap, that's fast. Yeah, doesn't give you any minutes to compose yourself. That is nuts. I also can't believe how well it puts that power down. I know it's four-wheel drive, but it just feels so planted at all kinds of speeds around all kinds of bends. And I know how good they are because I've been on track with so many of them. And even in like torrential rain, they are still so fast and so capable and so composed. It's incredible. I'm just going to put it back in Sport because it's so revvy. But I think we should also just take a minute to appreciate that I have found a car with electric steering that I like. I really like the steering on it. It doesn't feel like it's got electric steering at all. It's really direct, really pointy. There's no, it doesn't. Normally, electric steering has this kind of feel to it that I just really don't like. This doesn't have that at all. It feels absolutely lovely. You get loads of feedback through the steering wheel. And that PDK is so fast, you don't even notice it. Just bang it through the gear. Car doesn't even, you know, sometimes when you change gear and it gives it a little kick, or you can feel that it's changing gear. You don't have that at all. It's so smooth. Right, I need to go and find a quiet, twisty road. It has no one on it because I'm currently sitting at 37 mile an hour in a 60. It's winding me up because this car doesn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to go and have fun. So please hold, caller. I will come back in a minute when I've found a twisty road. Right, found a twisty road, no one on it. Ah, let's go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, how does it corner like that? Oh, this is just something else. But the thing is, you can also do such stupid speeds on this and not even know you're doing it. Oh my God. literally feel that four-wheel drive system working. It feels like it's on like it's pivoting. So the only way I can describe this is when you're on track in a car and the tyres get hot, you can feel how the car is behaving. You can literally feel the rotation, and you get this in this immediately. That's insane. Like, this is so good. So good. This is exactly how a Porsche should be, right? You can bum along in it, you can sit on a motorway, no drama, it's comfy, there's nothing, it feels nice, it's a nice place to be, it's got some tech, it's just a lovely place to be. But then you get to a twisty road and oh my God, can you lose your license? Jesus Christ. It does also give you a lot of confidence. You don't feel like it's going to kill you really at any point. Also, another fact is to initiate launch control, you haven't actually got a button. You just put it in Sport Plus and foot on brake and floor it essentially, and it will engage launch control. Right, I'm doing launch control. Okay, foot on brake. Oh my God! I have done that. I'm sorry. On paper, that says that it shouldn't be as fast as the McLaren was, but that's definitely faster. Oh my God, that was... I thought my face was going to melt off and my internal organs were going to come out of the exhaust then. Holy, just like, holy, everything holy. That was fun. I want to do it again. When I first got in this car, I have to say, I thought the steering wheel just felt absolutely ginormous, like a bus, but now that I've been driving it all day, it's actually not at all. It's fine. Really don't notice it. But I'm saying that because if you go from something like a Lotus or something, even the McLaren, I don't think the steering wheel was this big. When you first get in it, you might think, oh Jesus Christ, it's huge, but get used to it. It's really not that bad at all. I love that gearbox. Whack it into manual. Flick through the gears. Oh, it's great. This reminds me of being back in the McLaren, Actually, this is very similar to the McLaren. I thought it was going to be completely different, because the McLaren was one of the best supercars I've ever driven, ever. And there's not many other cars that come close to it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, stop. Yeah, as I was saying, it's very similar to the McLaren to drive, and in terms of dailyable as well. The McLaren was really, really dailyable, and but then you put your foot down, it just absolutely flies. And yeah, I'm actually a bit speechless, if I'm honest. This is brilliant. Right, fun factor, I'm going with like a 9. This is so good. This is so much better than I expected it to be as well. It's almost, okay, it's weird. I wanted it to be really good, and I almost had it on a bit of a pedestal, but I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to live up to the hype. And my God, does it live up to the hype? 100% get it. If you're thinking about buying one, go and buy one. It's probably the best advice I can give you. Practicality, gonna go with probably a 7. Boots are decent size, you've got back seats that you can fit a small person in. Yeah, comfy. So you put it into normal mode, it's very, very compliant on the bumpy roads. Yeah, it's brilliant. Does everything. Does absolutely everything perfectly. I would actually go as far to say that I love this car as much as I loved the AMG GTS. And if you've watched that video, if you haven't, go and watch it. If you've watched that video, you will know that I absolutely adored that car. And I didn't think there was going to be many cars, particularly not a Porsche, sorry guys, that would live up to that, but this is just on a completely different level to anything else, and the AMG was the same. Just what a fantastic car. I'm so grateful and glad that I've got to drive this. It's been an absolute pleasure, and again, I don't want to give it back. I've got to go and give it back, and I just don't want to. Fancy taking it home, become my new daily. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything in the future. And I will see you next week.